His name is Vasil, and he's an internet troll. Every day, Vasil writes hundreds of comments on social media while pretending to be someone else, and he's paid for it. His job is to manipulate emotions and thoughts, and there are hundreds like him. Ukrainian politicians spend hefty sums on election campaigns. Television screens, billboards, and social network feeds fill up with political propaganda while society tries to understand whom to vote for. Politicians fight for every vote, as well as likes, hearts, and comments on social media. But it's not always clear if those likes and hearts are come by honestly. In order to understand how this gray technology works from the inside and how politicians manipulate narratives, journalists from Slidstvo.Info agency attempted to get hired by a so-called troll farm during this summer's parliamentary campaigns. Our reporters will explain how the gray market for trolls and paid correspondents work and how much it costs, as well as who benefits from the daily positive or negative comments on your social media feed.
We've never used any trolls, none.
We've never used the services of troll farms to influence public opinion.
We won't launch any troll farms or bot farms. We don't use them.
Vasil Bedun, a journalist for Slidstvo.Info, checked job sites for several weeks and called employers. Finding an opening for an internet troll isn't easy. It's usually masked as some other kind of job.
Hello, good afternoon. Is this Yura?
I'm listening.
My name is Vasil. I found your job opening on work.ua for a copywriter/rewriter.
Yes?
I'm interested in this position.
Vasil agreed to an interview with an employee of a potential troll farm, an agency that creates fake accounts and then writes paid comments from those accounts. If he passes the interview, then for the next 1.5 months, Agent Vasil will secretly record everything that goes on during the pre-election season.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Vasya.
"33 days until the election. According to data from sociologists, only 5 political factions will enter parliament. The office where Vasil will have his interview is actually a standard apartment in Podil, a neighborhood in the center of Kyiv.
I see. 3rd floor. All right.
There's a big risk that Vasil will be found out and that they'll know that he's actually an investigative journalist.
Good day.
Come on in. I'm Mark.
Vasil.
For example, when something's posted, we write 20 comments in support of it. so that a conversation starts to grow. So for posts, as you know, real people only engage when there's already some activity.
Vasil's work history and motives aren't very interesting to the interviewer.
We pay $360 to $400. We start with $360, depending on your results, maybe $400 and more in the future. This work is currently unofficial, seeing as we're still being registered legally. So for now, it's unofficial. Do you have any other questions?
If it's unofficial, how do I get paid?
Cash in hand.
Well, I guess it's okay in principle. I can try it.
Then you can already start tomorrow.
Станція Поштова площа. Поштова площа. Вихід до фунікулера. Поїзд прямує до станції Васильківська. Обережно, двері зачиняються. The doors are closing.
Good day. Good day.
Good day, Roma.
Vasil.
Dozens more like Vasil work in this room. They add him to a group chat in Telegram. All questions regarding the work are handled in group chats. The group's curator explains how everything works.
Generally, comments should be more argumentative and on topic, even if you don't know it very well. Try to stick to the topics that I usually write in the Telegram chat. Look at the structure, if it's a post or a video or something else, and write there. It's simple. Usually it's supportive, emotional, engaging, and so on.
So right now I need to try to write these comments as quickly as possible, then send them to you, so I can move on to the next assignment.
Yeah, in principle. But as I said, for me personally, sometimes it works out that I'll write 25 comments in 15 minutes, and sometimes in 30. It's obvious that if you're writing some thorough comment, it'll take 1 or 2 minutes.
It was hard the first day. I stayed late. And my supervisor, that is, my boss, told me to work faster. Well, he complimented me that my writing is not bad, but I need to do it faster.
Tell me how you feel.
It's a bit confusing, you have to switch topics very quickly.
Don't think too long. This is very dynamic work.
I mean, you know, should I be concerned about being grammatical, about using words correctly?
In reality, people are, how can I put it, poorly educated. They don't write very literate comments, so if you have some grammatical errors, then maybe that's even a plus.
The troll farm works in 3 shifts. The trolls post from 8 a.m. to midnight. Agent Vasil works on the morning shift. His usual output for day is 300 comments.
Where did they get this fantasy of 300 comments per day? I can't imagine that.
In the brief they sent us on Telegram, they basically write out, for example, 5 different topics which we should use. That's just for us, the trolls, this sort of orientation of what to write.
Topics for trolls. Why Klitschko is not that active in reacting to Kievan's needs? They encroached on Klitschko's brainchild and he began to act immediately. Why doesn't he react to the problems of Kiev in this way? That's good that police work so quickly. Klitschko should learn from it.
There was this news about this car that drove onto a pedestrian bridge. And Klitschko on Facebook immediately started to make a fuss, said he had offered the law enforcement agencies to start searching for these people. And we were given an assignment to criticize Klitschko about this bridge.
Trolls don't usually interest themselves about who's paying for their services, and the curators keep that information a secret. Troll farms are organizations with a broad structure. Supervisors sit at the head office. They handle negotiations with political factions and set the assignments and costs. So-called targetologists sit in the same office. They determine which audience should be targeted, taking into account many different factors. Then, technical specialists develop special programs that automate processes that speed up the working regime. But the core strength of a troll farm are the so-called monkeys, people who create fake accounts and then post mass comments from those fake names on social networks.
Do you talk amongst yourself, ask something one-on-one, or do you not have the time?
Yes, usually we don't have time, because there's a very productive atmosphere. When you enter, all you hear is typing. In practice, each troll, that is, each worker, receives at least 7 accounts. These are our personal accounts, and they are already logged in. When we arrive, we just turn on the computer, open all these 7 browsers, and all the accounts are already ready for work.
Vasil was given access to a spreadsheet where he recorded how many comments he wrote per day and links to them.
Copy the link to the post, put it in the next table, the name of the account and the total number of comments you wrote.
This spreadsheet has a lot of interesting information. For example, how the fake accounts were created. Workers from the troll farm stole photographs from the Kontakti social network and then uploaded them, with different names, to the accounts used by trolls. That's how, as an example, Igor Kozhukhov from the Russian city of Voronezh became Yuri Harchenko, who apparently lives in Lutsk, in western Ukraine, and is actively interested in Ukrainian socio-political life. And the Estonian Marko Veda turns into Igor Vernadub from Odessa, who decided to publicly agitate for Ukrainian politicians. But this troll farm had their favorite character.
Lubomir Kukuruza.
He's a cool guy, by the way.
Zelubomir.
We always laughed at that account. It became famous in some of our circles. He just has a funny name and surname, Lubomir Kukuruza. And some of my co-workers joke like,
This is a troll account, correct?
yes, it's a troll account. Some co-workers joke like, let's use Lubomir Kukuruza. Let him get something started.
Vasil had access to the troll account, so he showed his colleagues the full life story of Lubomir Kukuruza.
For example, we can see that he added friends en masse in June 2017.
Listen, so this account is already 2 years old.
When Agent Vasil joined the troll farm, it was already actively supporting several candidates for parliament.
Topics for trolls. What a haughty man, you can't imagine we have to elect him as a defender of our interests in the Rada. It's good that at least someone does not forget about the Donbass for a minute. Sivoho may not understand anything in politics, but he knows how to be human.
I think that everything will work if we work together. Let's do it together. Serhiy Sivoho, your neighbor.
The trolls posted hundreds of comments daily praising comedian Serhiy Sivoho. He ran in the Donetsk region as a servant of the people, by the personal request of the Ukrainian president. They worked together on the show Liga Smichu.
Again in our ranks, Serhiy Anatolievich Sivoho.
Serhiy Anatolievich is on a trip, so that's why I'll give you an answer to your question. We don't know anything about trolls or troll farms. It's possible that for someone it was advantageous to send trolls for us.
So Mr. Sivoho never ordered trolls and his representatives never ordered trolls for support?
He didn't order them, he didn't. As for the comments, we haven't checked this information. Maybe this was a planned move to investigate later.
So you think this could have been some provocation against Sivoho in that trolls would leave comments supporting him, correct?
We're not ruling it out.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again together.
The trolls also regularly left positive comments on the pages of politician Serhiy Shachov. He's already been an MP, and he's remembered for getting into fistfights with colleagues. And now he's decided to run for the second time for parliament in the Luhansk region.
Look at the condition of the roads today. This is even still considered good.
If every one of your comments reads Shachov, 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 it'll appear suspicious, so it's best not to.
I got you.
Because we don't want it to seem fake.
The employees follow the instructions of their supervisor in good faith, but ordinary trolls don't like praising Shachov.
Like some Luhansk trash this Shachov is. What a post, damn it. He even chose some of the dumbest quotes there, the one he was able to somehow understand. And then he goes, "Have a nice day. Well done, cool post, dude."
I came to the Lavra to pray and get God's blessing. You all have a good day.
Topics for trolls. Congratulations on the upcoming religious feast. Thank you for your wishes, you also have a nice day, and so on and so forth. It's good that such people's deputies do not forget about the holidays that are important for every Ukrainian. Mr. Shachov, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We are journalists from the Slidstvo.Info agency.
Agents or agency?
No, agency, we're journalists.
You've been through a tough election campaign. What do you think about politicians using trolls and troll farms, paid commenters?
I didn't really pay attention when I initially started my Facebook and Instagram pages. But I want to say that even when talking to those trolls, I call to conscience, fairness, that there is God in our world, and you'll have to pay for lying one way or another. And people stop doing it.
We have information that one of the Kyiv-based troll farms was also used in your interest during a substantial period of the parliamentary campaign.
In the Luhansk region, where we worked and succeeded as a team, generally those, for example, Lukashov, Sukhov, Velmozhny, Shachov, we personally maintain our pages and have never used these troll farms or what they are called. I don't even know how they are built and what the technology is.
However, the farm did not only work for the constituency candidates. Soon, Agent Vasil began to work in the interests of well-known political forces, some of which soon acquired seats in the Ukrainian parliament.
If ordinary Ukrainians get political news and political information from Facebook, fake accounts can in some way affect their perception of the situation, how they view this political situation. And we decided that in the lead up to the parliamentary elections, it was especially interesting and relevant.
Marina Ott is an employee of one of the most powerful analytical platforms in Ukraine, Vox Ukraine. For 9 months, she and her partners worked on a study called How Ukrainian Trolls Live. To do this, the team created an artificial intelligence that helped distinguish real people from trolls. Experts analyzed about 12 million comments on the pages of top Ukrainian politicians and under political news. More than 4 million of those came from trolls. That means every third comment was not made by a genuine person. In this study alone, analysts uncovered 800,000 trolls that exist in the virtual world.
In our research, we focused on the content and tone of the comments.
Most of the trolls appeared where President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky was mentioned. Analysts found about 500,000 fake comments over 6 weeks of monitoring. Moreover, almost half of them left either praiseful or neutral posts. During that same period, more than 130,000 positive or neutral comments appeared on the news about Petro Poroshenko and on his pages. Trolls who leave such posts may work in the interests of those politicians. However, it isn't possible to work out who ordered those comments using artificial intelligence alone. One month until the election, according to sociologists, 5 political forces would enter parliament. Anatoly Khrushchev's civic position and Igor Smeshko's strength and honor were trying to reach the 5% entry barrier.
We were all gathered there, well, not all, but some of us, and were told that a new group would be formed that would be writing about Hrutsenko.
Anatoly Khrushchev is a well-known politician and former Minister of Defense of Ukraine.
Badmouth old authorities, badmouth oligarchs, that the whole parliament is owned by oligarchs, that they're all corrupt. The new ones are just as bad. They are not experienced, and yet we have to elect those who understand politics. You touch on any topic and in the end conclude that Hrutsenko rocks.
We must unite. We must make the right decisions. We must win. Civic position. Together we will win.
Here are, for example, comments on a video about how Hrutsenko helps Zelensky win against Putin at chess. Kostya says, yes, I think Zelensky should seriously consider giving Hrutsenko a chance to take care of our army. Given Hrutsenko's experience, I think he would have done a great job with that. And Orest replies, I heard that Zelensky is considering Hrutsenko's candidacy for the post of head of the National Security and Defense Council. I think that would be the right decision on his part, and that's where the dialogue ends.
Vasya, you're opening up a site I've never seen before.
Yes, I'm a serious troll commander.
Under one account, you write a comment, switch to another and respond. And then you just switch, write from one, write from another, write from one, write from another.
Agent Vasil's tasks at the farm got harder. He received a new instruction to create fake discussions between fake accounts during which Hrutsenko's supporter would win.
It was difficult. The first time when I was doing this task, I even got criticized by the group supervisor. Because the first account wrote positive comments about Hrutsenko, and the second account wrote something slightly negative about Hrutsenko.
Should you have been harsher?
No, not harsher. There should have been nothing bad about Hrutsenko. For instance, I wrote from the first account that Hrutsenko is a great man, that he's an honest and worthy politician. And from the second, I wrote that, oh, somehow I don't believe that Hrutsenko is an honest politician. And they told me not to write like that, but to write, for instance, what makes you think that Hrutsenko is an honest politician? That is, under no circumstances should there be anything negative in the comments.
Vasyl is not only tasked to praise Khrytsenko, but also to attack his main opponent, the former SBU chairman Igor Smeshko, and his party Strength and Honor.
Topics for trolls. Smeshko is a corrupt parody of Khrytsenko. Khrytsenko has his team of politicians that have nothing to do with corruption or oligarchy, while Smeshko is connected to Pinchuk and Medvedchuk. Smeshko needs to be jailed. He, together with Godon, sell their seats in the party to oligarchs. One more bluff from Godon. Smeshko is an old, corrupt politician. No place in the new parliament for such people.
In the comments, we express three positions. First, Khrytsenko is gaining ground. People see, or even people understand, that he is needed in the parliament. Second, Smeshko is dead in the water. That's awesome. Third, ratings are increasingly encouraging, especially that Khrytsenko's growing.
During his work at the troll farm, Agent Vasyl filled in an online spreadsheet on a daily basis. Having analyzed it, the journalist saw that during his stint at the troll farm, the employees of that farm had written about 24,000 comments in the interest of Khrytsenko.
Instead of uniting, they are flinging mud at each other on air. This is what we call old politics. We have to come and change that, because we are sick to the back teeth.
If you are not ready to handle specific figures and facts, the parliament and the government just aren't your thing. I'll be frank with you.
Topics for trolls. Khrytsenko has destroyed Vakachuk. Vakachuk doesn't even understand where he is and why. Slavko was offended, it was obvious. An elephant and a park, that's ridiculous. Vakachuk is no match for the experienced Khrytsenko. One can see straight away who is an experienced and intelligent politician and who is a schoolboy chastened by a teacher.
For example, I write, well, Kostya writes, Vakachuk really disappointed me in his speech at Svoboda Slova. He looked like a toothless child. Orest replies, yes, I watched it too. Khrytsenko made him look really bad, of course. Kostya, well, he shouldn't talk stuff and nonsense. How does he see politicians not criticizing each other? Maybe, and it is necessary to shoot for the criticism of the authorities. Yes, that is why I think that Vakachuk is not ready for serious politics. He needs to learn more. Orest says, I think Vakachuk's party should lose its rating a little bit, but Khrytsenko, on the contrary, his should grow.
Vasyl quickly became a professional internet troll.
I open the news, I see that I've already written on that topic. I do not need those talking points. On the whole, I write for myself.
Are you not tired of writing the same things over again?
Well, it is very boring. You just keep writing the same thing. And what you said about it being morally difficult because you may disagree, but you still have to write it.
But are you a professional Khrytsenko troll?
Yes, by the way, I write comments very quickly. We actually have a working day there from 8 AM to 3 PM. We get 7 hours. I just write these comments in 4 hours and go home.
300 comments in 4 hours?
"23 days until the election. Sociologists forecast Khrytsenko's civic position would get about 2.5% of the vote. Whilst Agent Vasyl was working at the farm, his colleagues managed to find the headquarters of the troll farm during the investigation. So they decided to do an experiment to find out what kind of services the agency provides and how much they cost. Journalists asked for help from former MP Yegor Sobolev. He had plans to launch a new political project. So, according to the legend, he needed the support of trolls on social networks.
And we are looking for ways to quickly increase presence on social networks. That's real truth. There is no need to make anything up here.
Hi, I'm Dmitro.
I'm Valery.
I'm Yegor.
I know you.
Nice to hear.
The meeting takes place in an office, an ordinary apartment in the center of Kyiv. The man who receives clients is a professional political technologist.
Social networks are the bane of our life. I don't know anything about them.
Well, we do know a little.
Trust the pros?
So what do we need? We actually need to increase reach, engagement is important for us, and so is impact. How much? We want to evaluate our budget, how appropriate it is, because the project is due in September. There is no time to be wasted.
Well, look, I will now try to respond as reasonably as possible. What can we offer? Well, everything. If you want us to run an election campaign for you, we can do that too.
He doesn't conceal the fact that his team has worked with numerous well-known politicians.
We have experience working with Anatoly Gritsenko, for instance. We have been friends with him for more than 10 years and tried working together on many occasions.
Next up, the journalists are tasked with talking to the political technologist more to find out how much the services of the troll farm cost. "17 days until the election. Anatoly Gritsenko's party failed to grow its rating to the 5% threshold.
It was like this. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we arrived. Everything was as usual. We were being sent links on Telegram to write comments in support of Gritsenko. We had already written about 100 comments out of 300. And then, at some point, our group supervisor gets a call, and he says, "That's it." I don't remember whether it was a call or someone texted him, but at some point he just says, "Stop, don't write anything."
For several weeks, journalists tried to reach Anatoly Gritsenko to interview him. They contacted his press secretary and came to the office of his political force.
We are looking for Mr. Gritsenko and we want to talk to him about the use of troll farms by the Civil Position Party.
Use of troll farms by civil position? And what's the troll farm?
These are paid commenters, so to say.
We don't have any.
Now you don't, but during the elections you did.
No.
How can we contact him?
By telephone, call him.
However, Anatoly Gritsenko did not come out to speak, even when reporters came to his estate.
Hello, Mr. Gritsenko. My name is Evgenia Motorevska. I am a journalist from the Slidstvo.Info agency. We would like to get a comment from you. We spoke to your press secretary, but she said that you called our questions dilettantish. We have information that you and the Civil Position Party had used troll farms during the election campaign. We believe this is important information that calls for a reaction from you personally.
I voiced my reaction when I first launched the campaign and when I ended it. I have expressed it already and I won't do it again. And such words are very insulting anyway, I'm sorry.
We have evidence, that's why we want to... It's nice to see that Sviatoslav Vakarchuk upholds family values.
Ah, this is the news where he posted a photo with his wife. It was also heavily hyped up.
Topics for trolls. Vakarchuk advertises family values. If you can't make your family happy, you won't make the country successful. We need politicians who understand the main Ukrainian values. Family. Remarkable, fabulous, Vakarchuk and his wife look good. Other flattery.
Just a few days after the trolls received a stop command for Gritsenko, they got a new job: to support Vakarchuk and his party Golos, or Voice. Supervisors sent talking points to the same chat.
We were also asked to do branches, that is, to communicate with different accounts. The discussion had to come down to the fact that we support Vakarchuk and his party Golos.
11 days until the election. One of the polls showed that Sviatoslav Vakarchuk's Golos party won't enter the parliament.
Topics for trolls. How much longer are we going to tolerate the cruelty of seasoned politicians? We need new faces in politics. Sviatoslav is right. They've been feeding us with promises for 28 years. Make way for the young. Make way for Golos. A post after post here is about Vakarchuk.
Golos party won't enter the next parliament polls.
They fear new politicians like Vakarchuk and downplay their polls. So sociology is a news-making event, and one needs to somehow improve the public opinion.
One of the trolls who actively favors Vakarchuk and his Golos party is the already known Lyubomir Kukuruza. Vasil shows his colleagues a history of comments from a fake page.
Here we have the news on polls that Golos is not passing the minimum threshold. And he writes that one should not trust such polls. That is an indirect support for Golos. And sometimes such comments should be written as well. Or under the same news, he writes, I agree with you, Vakarchuk's opponents make these polls.
During the work of Agent Vasil on the farm, its trolls left over 6,000 comments in support of Sviatoslav Vakarchuk and his team. The journalist found this data in the reports filed by the troll farm workers.
Our respect for the electorate and our colleagues in the pre-election race is also that we have never used the services of troll farms.
Election day. The Golos party passes the 5% threshold and enters parliament. Anatoly Khristenko and his team get around 1%. On the first day of parliament, journalists tried to speak with newly elected MPs who are likely to use the services of troll farms. Suddenly, on the sidelines of parliament, reporters spotted a man very similar to the bot Lyubomir Kukuruza. Surprised, they approached the man to see if he had anything to do with the troll account.
Good afternoon, just for a moment, we have a very strange question to you.
Good day. Strange? What? Again?
You'll be surprised yourself. Look, we're journalists and we're doing a big research on troll farms. Do you know what trolls and paid comments are?
I felt it myself during the campaign.
What's your name?
Dmytro Kostyuk.
He's a newly elected MP from the president's faction.
Look, is it a photo of you, correct?
The photo, yes, but the account is definitely not mine.
Exactly. This person is constantly writing comments in support of Sviatoslav Vakarchuk or Serhiy Shahov or other politicians.
Using my photo?
Yes, it is a very popular account. As you can see, he has 1,000 of friends.
Fantastic.
And he has studied in Khmelnytsky State University.
Please send me a message with a link to this page.
Okay, now we know at least who the real person is.
Each of you should have 16 sheets of paper, do you?
Yes.
Good job, great! Now find the screenshots 2, 3, 4 and 5. So who's faster? Which team will be faster?
10 people, men and women. They are 18 to 59 years old. At the request of journalists, a team of professional sociologists will conduct research. The task of the participants is to identify the troll. The moderator shows the research participants the page of Lyubomir Kukuruza, a troll farm favorite, and examples of comments he left in support of politicians.
He already graduated from the institute. He studied political communication, so he works as a PR person for some deputy.
Given that he has as many as 1,049 people on his friend list, I don't know where he got them.
On Facebook.
This is clearly some kind of troll.
It's a person. I think he actually studied in Khmelnytsky and he's not a troll.
Not a troll?
He's a real person.
How many of you vote for internet troll? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the rest vote for a real person?
Can I vote 50-50?
No, you can't.
I'll vote for a real person then.
A real person? Okay.
The participants in the study could not agree on who Lubomir Kukuruza was. The group's votes were split in half.
Why do they need trolls?
To form an opinion.
To form a supposedly popular opinion.
When people look at a politician's Facebook page, they look at how many comments there are, how many likes there are, how many followers. In fact, it's not just the comments, it's the fact that they are there. And when we see there are 82 comments, we think, well guys, these are good politicians, people have an interest in them. They may not even read these comments, they just are there. And they create an image.
However, the vast majority of group members confirmed that they regularly read comments under politicians' posts and political news.
It doesn't matter what they write about you, as long as they write something.
During the meeting with Yegor Sobolev, who plays the role of a customer, the political technologist offers services for promoting the politician on social networks.
This is what we call reputation management, that is comments. It is possible with the involvement of software when we scan all social networks by keywords and send our commenters there, and they work there according to the messages that you give. We agree, but usually nobody wants to agree, but that's it. Though there is already some practice.
The man states the price of the services for paid commentators.
Well, again, in the good times. No, in the best of times, the practice of a comment reached up to $2 for one. In this election, we did it for $5,000 to $7,000. That's for 10,000 comments. We search with keywords like Sobolev or the name of the brand, or the closest competitors with whom the audience intersects electorally. But that is harder. You are blocked as soon as you come and write something. That's why I tell you that you should determine for yourself the strategy to work with trolls.
The customer, Yegor Sobolev, thanks for the meeting and promises to think about the proposal. The journalists will soon meet the political technologist again, but in a slightly different role.
Can we borrow you for a few words?
You can, for a few words. Let me know when the sound is ready. I can even sing something for you.
The journalists ask party leader Sviatoslav Vakarchuk for explanations, and he arranges a meeting at the headquarters on the terrace. Reporters read out examples of comments the trolls left about him to the goalless leader.
Vakarchuk deserves respect just for the fact that he's not afraid to express his opinion against the oligarchs' Band-Aid forces. Very good that Vakarchuk is entering the radar. He's an honest person who loves people. It is very good that Vakarchuk did not stand aside and worries about it all. The teleconference should not happen. Vakarchuk is one of the few who oppose this. It all plays into the hands of Putin and Medvedchuk.
I never thought in my life that I would participate in this. Are you serious? Do I look like a man who would work with troll farms? It makes no sense. Look, firstly, this is the first time I hear that Golos party may have something to do with trolls or troll farms. Secondly, I really don't know what it is and how it works. Thirdly, I officially declare to you that Golos has not sanctioned and will never sanction such things ever. Firstly, if anyone had wanted to somehow entrap us or make you investigate, he probably had every opportunity to do so. The internet is endless, I would say, such a well, or an eternal window of opportunity, both to entrap someone and to help someone and to work against someone.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. We hope to hear from you if you watch the film.
The microphone.
Frankly, I was ready for everything except that you'll show me the printouts from internet.
But that's our job.
I have been creating a name for myself for 20 years, not in order to burn it for some nonsense.
This is not a complaint.
But this is your job.
Hi.
How are you?
Not so hot, somehow, and interesting.
Look, here you have 6,000. Will you count here or at home?
I won't, I suppose. But this is the money for what?
Until the 21st, as we have agreed. Okay, guys, I run. Thank you all. It was nice to meet you, especially those from Zhytomyr. Take care.
After the election, they paid Agent Vasil and transferred him to freelancing. Vasil has been receiving 1 hryvnia for every freelance post. The average cost of 1 comment at this year's election, according to the political technologist, was 60 cents, or about 15 hryvnias. For the 1 month that Vasil worked undercover, his group has commented on posts to the amount of over 600,000 hryvnias. According to the Vox Ukraine Analytics platform report, during the 6 months before the parliamentary elections, the trolls left almost 4 million comments on the pages of top Ukrainian politicians. This is 60 million hryvnias at market prices. The sum is conditional. After all, big political teams can have their own farms, which are cheaper to use. However, it does demonstrate the scale of this gray market for dubious services.
Mr. Valery.
Mr. Savchuk, good afternoon. We are from the Slidstvo.Info investigative journalism project. My name is Dmitro Replenchuk. This is my colleague Evgenia Motorevska.
I must have seen you somewhere.
Yes, you have. We want to talk about your company given the troll farm services to politicians.
The political technologist who recently offered his services now says that he has nothing to do with troll farms.
I don't know what troll farm you're talking about. I know what a troll farm is because as a person who is constantly in the social network environment, I see what the trolls are. They are very easy to track. We see them. Whose troll those are, who does this. I have an impression that everyone is doing this today.
However, the political technologist does not understand why everyone is doing this.
Probably it may have been interesting to me as a PR man a year ago. Now I don't think it is an effective tool in a negative or positive way.
But why is it so widely used then? Are political technologists misleading their customers?
Why? It may be pleasing to the client that someone writes something good about him.
The work of Slidstvo.Info journalists undercover has exposed only 1 troll farm in the capital, which has worked for several Ukrainian politicians and their teams. However, even a simple scroll through Facebook proves that in the Ukrainian internet, trolls are used all the time, for PR and against opponents. And despite the fact that these technologies aren't banned in Ukraine, no politician has ever dared to admit that they use the services of internet trolls. During his work at the troll farm, Vasil Bedun wrote hundreds of laudatory comments. And perhaps the same number of comments that offended or humiliated politicians. In general, he worked at the agency for 6 weeks and earned just over 9,000 hryvnias.